Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to Guitar of the Week. So we got one of my guitars this week. It's one I've been working on for the last couple weeks, and it's finally done and ready to show to you guys. I think you're going to really enjoy it. But first, I'd like to say just thanks for watching, everybody, because I really like doing these. They take a little bit of time, with editing and all that stuff, but it's a good time. We get to play some cool guitars, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So thanks for watching, and let's go check out the guitar. Here we go, guys. So this is from 1959. We have an original Gibson ES-175DN. Got another blonde one. And with that comes the amazing wood grain. So this one's got a little bit of blister, a little bit of bird's eye in it. Looks pretty cool. Got a Bigsby on this one. This one in particular has a really nice Brazilian rosewood fretboard too. I mean, just the color on it, it's hard to pick up, but it's got a lot of red in it. So I bought this guitar as a body and a neck. And over the last couple weeks I've been working on it and getting it put back together. It turned out really nice. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, this guitar has been refinished, unfortunately. It's been refinished and a lot of the parts are new. But you know what? If it was all original, I'd never be able to afford it in a million years. So yeah, we got a pair of Brandon wound PAF clone pickups, or 59 clones, I should say. They sound awesome in here. They do a great job of replicating the originals. Then I had Tony from Pick Guardian make me a sweet pick guard for this. Again, looks just like the original. It's just got normal CTS pots in it. It does, however, have the original Sprague ceramic disc capacitors. I had to go for a Bigsby. It's just a new Bigsby B6, but man, it just looks so cool, doesn't it? I love it. Yeah, the wood grain's spectacular. This was originally a blonde guitar, as far as we know. So yeah, the back grain is stunning too. We might show you that a little bit later. But yeah, let's go plug this thing in. Alright guys, so we got the 1959 ES-175 here. We are again plugged into a 1967 Ampé reverb rocket. This is a reverb rocket 2. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. It's a 67, so it's a black one. It's pretty cool. We don't do all those EQs at new and just a little bit of reverb, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we have some reverb going on. The treble's pretty low, bass is pretty high. It's just where it likes to be. So we use that for a clean sound today, and then we'll plug into a plexi for some gain and get a little bit of Izzy straddling going on, because he played one of these, and I like Guns N' Roses. So we'll start out on the neck pickup here. These are Brandon wound 59 clones. They sound pretty cool. Let's have a listen, shall we? just a nice sound. It's different. It's different than anything that I own, which is great because, you know, you don't always want to have the same sound. You want to be able to change it up. You want to have a Les Paul, an SG, and a Strat. And I didn't have a big hollow body, and this really fills a gap for me. And I really like the way that it sounds. So I said it was 1959, and that's mostly true. But it sort of isn't as well, because it could be 1960. The factory order number in this guitar is S, which means, I'm going to double check that, I believe it's S. I can't even see. I'm pretty sure it's S, which is for 1959. It's either S or R. I can't remember which. But it has a 59 factory order number, but the serial number is a very, very early 1960, like probably January 1960. So this guitar was probably started in December and just finished up after the first of the year. I know the pots that were in it originally were 1959 pots, like, you know, 41st week or something like that. So you could technically call it a 59, you could technically call it a 60. Really, there's no difference. They're pretty much the same specifications. The neck profile on it is just lovely. I mean, it's a fantastic neck profile. It's, you know, decently small down here, and up here it's just a nice chunky neck. You know, it's not huge, it's not tiny, it's just right in the middle. It's a little bit bigger than that 58 Special we had last week, but not by a lot. Mainly down here, I mean, it's a little bit smaller, sorry. Down here it's definitely smaller than that 58. Up here, about the same. A lot skinnier than a reissue, for sure. We talked about that last week. The reissue necks are mahoosive for whatever reason. Yeah, so great neck profile. It's a blonde guitar. If you watch Norman's Rare Guitar, their guitar of the day, I'm sure you've heard him talk about blonde guitars. You know, they had to use the best stuff that they had, wood-wise. Check out the back grain on this thing. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the back also has a decent amount of bird's eye in it. You know, if there's any imperfections in the wood, you're going to see them. You know, because a lot of times the Eastern hard rock maple that Gibson used, it has little like brown streaks in it, like mineral streaks. And on a blonde guitar, you're going to see those wherever they're at. Whereas if you have a sunburst guitar, you know, you got some of those darker colors, the browns, the blacks, the reds, you can hide them. Not on natural. And of course, they didn't make a whole lot of natural guitars because of that reason, and they're usually more expensive. I believe there was, in 1959, maybe 120 of these. Now sure, they did make a lot more blonde 175s than they did, say, like L5s or anything like that, or L4, I guess would be the more appropriate comparison. If you find a blonde L4 from this era, you're going to be paying stupid money for it. Astronomical prices. Whereas these, you know, they're a little bit more common. Of course, it was sort of, it was a budget model at the time. It wasn't super budget like the Junior we did a couple of weeks ago. It was, you know, almost more like the Special, you know, because you got binding on the neck, got an inlaid logo, you've got, you know, split parallelogram inlays, you know, you got a little bit fancier stuff on here. So yeah, I mean, there are some original parts on this. The pickup rings, the M69s, are not original to the guitar, but they are correct. Thanks to Jared for those, and the bridge bass is correct as well, and thanks to Trey for that. Have some good friends. The Bixby I ordered for this guitar, it's a B6, and man, it's just smooth and buttery. It stays in tune pretty good too. It went a little bit out during the thing, but you know, what are you gonna do? Like I said, Pick Guardian made the pick guard. I wired up the whole harness myself. It's just, you know, pretty much newer stuff. The switch is a 70s switch, but the tuners are, you know, just single line Kluson repros made by, well, Kluson, I guess, but they were aged by Throwback, so they look nice and cool. I mean, these are kind of a jazz guitar. These are kind of a jazz guitar. Great grammar there. These are jazz guitars, you know, entry-level jazz box. Again, not a jazz player. I like rock and roll. And, of course, Izzy Stradlin played one, like we said earlier. So now I think we should go plug into the Plexi and play some Guns N' Roses. Some of you may not like that, but I do. Yeah, let's go crank up some gain. Alright, so now we're plugged into a hand-wired Plexi clone. We're going into a Marshall 412 with greenbacks. We got the gain up. It just makes me smile. So we're probably not going to stay on this sound for too long. It's not really what it's meant for, but man, it sure is fun. So yeah, let's have a listen. There you have it. A little bit out of the comfort zone of this guitar, I think, what we just did there. And me as well, because this thing is big. This is a big guitar, and I'm a very little person, as if you haven't noticed. This looks, you know, huge on me. But anyways, there you have it. 1959 ES-175. I can't believe I own this guitar. I love it to death, and man, it's just sweet. So next week, might switch it up. We might do an acoustic next week because we haven't done one of those yet. I mean, we could continue on with our vintage Gibson tangent, but guys want to see an acoustic? We can do that. If not, let me know. We'll keep going with the Gibsons. So yeah, there you guys have it, and we'll see you again next week. Take it easy.